Hey guys, I know I've been away for a while. I know I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. I fell out of the truck, I got hurt, messed up my back a little bit again, and I've been in a lot of pain, and because of that I haven't been filming. I'm in kind of an interesting place right now. I haven't done a lot of filming, so I've had a lot of time on my hands because editing and everything, doing these videos and shooting these videos, it does take a lot of my time. I've had a chance to do a lot of thinking. Over Christmas I had something, I watched a video, and that video kind of woke something in me. And before I get to that video and before I tell you the whole story of that, I'm going to talk a little bit about my past. When I was a kid, my grandpa was arguably one of the most important people in my life. Not my Grandpa Bill, who you guys know, which he was very, very important to me, but the most important person in my life when I was a kid was my Grandpa Don. We spent all kinds of time together when I was a kid. I'd ride my bike down to his house and we'd drive all over and look at the places where things never were when he was a kid, and he was a rabid dumpster diver. He'd go drive around up the alleys and he'd find pallets and old wood and discarded this, that, and the other thing and bring it home and refurbish it and make beautiful things out of it. I mean, the man was amazing like that. He was a really interesting guy. And he was a World War II veteran. And something I wouldn't find out until about 10 years after he died is he had never talked to anyone about his time and his experience in World War II in the Philippines except to me. What he told me wasn't much. It wasn't much at all, but I was that little kid that would ask questions all the time. Being as such, I just pried the information out of him because we would watch documentaries together on the Discovery Channel way back in the day. I just started asking all kinds of questions, and that's how I got the answers that I did from him. Also, my grandpa, he had a boat. He had this little 18-foot cabin cruiser that he built in 1962, and he kept the thing up over all the years, and it was probably one of his most prized possessions, that and his ham radio set. And those were a lot of things that he shared with me as a kid. That ham radio set was it was an amazing part of my life. The boat was an amazing part of my life, and every time I'd go over there I'd want to play in the boat. I spent countless thousands of hours as a kid playing in that boat, pretending I was a captain on the high seas, and we're going through the waves and through the storms and everything else. And I even, pretended that it was a battleship, and we'd stick a piece of pipe up through the porthole on the front end, and we'd pretend it was a machine gun, and we were shooting at the enemy ships and everything else. And so it was really cool for that as a kid to have that in my life. And I kind of realized today I don't even have any pictures of that boat anymore, and I need to get some. I really wish I did, as it's long since gone. It deteriorated to the point that I don't even know where it is today. That's not the important part. It's the memories of that. My grandpa had such a profound effect on me. He's really the one that taught me the love of my country and what it means to be a veteran. I really took so much of that away from him, and he was so influential in that, in my choice in joining the Navy. Everything with me joining the Navy had to do with him. What really led to that, my love of boats and everything else, is well, Grandpa and I would sit around and we'd watch documentaries, and one of the other documentaries we watched a lot was the undersea world of Jacques Cousteau. And seeing the Calypso and the mini submarines and everything, it just, my little child brain, it just blew my mind. I was, oh my God, it was so amazing to me. It was so cool. I wanted to do that someday. And that had a lot to do with me winding up in the Navy as well. But when I was 14, I decided that I wanted to get certified to go be a scuba diver, and I did. And I took my certification classes, I got certified, and on the trip home from becoming a certified diver, we were coming into Bear Canyon, which is just outside of Livingston, and we got the phone call that Grandpa had died. That destroyed my world, just totally. And here it is 20 years later, more than 21 years ago. It is now 21 years ago, and I still get a little bit choked up thinking about it. He was such an incredibly important figure in my life, and having him taken away from me like that was a horrible thing. He'd fought cancer for years and years and years. I mean, the man had cancer really all the life that I can remember. I remember being very, very small when we first found out that he had cancer, and he fought it for years and years and years. I don't know exactly how long it was. It must have been 12 or 15 years. It was just an incredible amount of time. And he fought it, and he fought it, and he fought it, and eventually, it just became a thing where you didn't think about it anymore. It was just, Grandpa has cancer and Grandpa's still here, and you lose the reality that you're going to lose him someday. I never scuba dived again. Never got in the water again after that. I just, the memories of it were so painful for me. And I felt for a lot of years like having him, losing him the way that I did. I felt that not being able to say goodbye was my fault for being down scuba diving. And I was 14 years old at the time. I know that's not the case, but it took a lot of years to work through that. It took a lot of years to get past that. And I'll never forget how that made me feel, and I'll never forget what a horrible experience it was. I don't want to dwell on that, but what I did get out of it is when I watched this video a couple months ago now, over Christmas, it was called The Irrelevance of Time. The video really struck me because it's this guy who, in his 20s, sold everything and bought a sailboat. And he's got a whole video series. It's SV Delos Sailing. There's a link in the description below to the video I'm talking about. But in this video, he's out hopping around the Philippines, and he is going to all these beautiful islands and swimming in all this amazing water, and he's on this sailboat that he bought. And I just looked at it, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And it awoke something in me because, like I said before, Grandpa served in the Philippines. When I was a kid, I told him, he got me this Glenelg boat building catalog, which is the catalog he built his boat out of. He got me this catalog, and I wore the pages out of that thing as a kid. I always told Grandpa that someday I was going to build a boat that was big enough to take us back across the Pacific, and I was going to take him back to the Philippines. Obviously, I can't do that now, but just seeing that video just totally, it awoke something in me that's been hidden for a while. It awoke something that had been pushed off to the side for a long while. In the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a whole lot of thinking about what it is that I really want out of life, and the trucking business has taken me a lot of places, but I've run out of things to see. I've had about every experience that I can have. I mean, my sense of adventure is yearning. I'm looking for a new adventure, and I really can't drive any place else that I haven't been right now. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Canada, I've been to 48 states. And so the next adventure obviously would be the last 2 states, Alaska and Hawaii. I really want to see those. It would also be going other places like the Philippines and fulfilling that dream. Something you guys will find kind of interesting is that the music you're hearing in this video, in the background, that's my grandpa playing. That's his jazz band, the Melodaires. I got this recording from my uncle, and it's something I had for a few years, and I couldn't bring myself to listen to it, and it wound up on one of my old hard drives or something. I don't know what happened to it, but I lost it. I recently had my uncle send it back to me, and it's been kind of a strange connection after all this time. It's been a really strange connection. Rebuilding that to my grandpa. This tape was recorded in 1964. Just hearing the melodies and hearing him play the trumpet, it's given me a strange sense of purpose again. And I was really starting to get bored with trucking. Video making, not so much. I mean, I love video making, and I'm by no means going to stop, believe me on that. But this year is going to mark the start of starting a new adventure. I'm going to be starting a second channel. I haven't decided what to name it yet, but this is something that Charles and I had been talking about for a while. And I'm finally ready to pull the trigger on it. Because what I'm going to do is, through the summer, I'm going to work really hard. I don't know exactly what the schedule of everything's going to be yet, but eventually I'm going to sell my truck. I'm going to sell everything off. I'm going to buy a sailboat. And it's probably not going to happen in that order. I'm probably going to buy the boat. I'd really like to get the truck paid off first. I'm going to sell everything off. I'm going to get that boat outfitted and ready to go. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to explore the world a little bit. I'm going to go beyond our shores, and I'm going to go see Alaska by boat. And I'm going to go up the inlet. I'm going to go up and see Alaska and get to do some hunting and fishing up there. I'm going to go out and I'm going to check out Hawaii. I'm going to go down the coast of Baja, go through the Panama Canal, sail back up, probably run around the Bahamas for a while, around the Gulf of Mexico. I'm going to see a lot of things, and I'm going to gain a lot of experience in the process. And then I think after that, I think I'm going to go up the East Coast some and maybe go over to Europe. I don't know. It's all a possibility. It's a world of possibilities, and I'm going to do YouTube videos about it the whole time. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos here lately on the sailing community, and there are some people that do some pretty good, reasonable quality videos. The videos from the Delos crew are really good. Also, Le Vagabond's pretty good is another one that I really liked, and Sailing Uma. Those are 3 channels that I'll link in the description below that you guys can check out if you want to. But watching what they've done and knowing my skill set and what I've developed now, I really think that I can go back to do this, and I think that I can do a YouTube channel that'll be even more fun than what we're doing on Renegade. Because Renegade Trucker, it's gotten just a little stale. It has gotten... There's only so much I can do with this channel. I could go to truck shows and do some things like that, but honestly, the adventure isn't there in it for me anymore. Just the adventure, that spirit, that it's subsided. I've seen it all. I've done it all in this business. I've seen about all a guy can see, and I don't... As much as I love to learn, I hardly ever learn anything new about the trucking business anymore. And at the same time, with looming regulations and things that they're talking about doing, speed limiters, EOBRs, everything else, I've just... My heart isn't in it anymore, is really what it boils down to. And I'm still going to work hard, and I'm gonna do what I need to do to make my commitments and everything, and I'm going to work real hard towards getting this truck paid off and everything of that nature. But I think for the most part, my time in the trucking industry has run its course, and I'm pretty excited about this new venture. And what I've decided is, once I'm done sailing around for a while, when I'm ready to take a break from sailing, I think I'm going to build a boat. I used to be a ship fitter. I'm a pretty badass welder, and there's a boat that Grandpa and I had always talked about. That boat was the big sailboat, because I asked him what type of boat I'd need to be able to go over there when I had my little Glenelg catalog, and he told me, oh, you're going to need something like this, and it was that 55-foot sailboat. I've always liked the design of it. I think it would be a really cool boat, and you guys are seeing on the screen here some 3D renderings I did of it. It's really cool, and it's by no means finished out, but it's just a start. And I think that in a few years down the road, I think I'm going to build this boat, outfit it, and I think once it's done, I think that's what I'm going to do with my life, is go sailing in it and pursue that. I'm going to start doing photography again and filmmaking, and that's going to be what I love to do. And unfortunately, doing heavy haul trucking has taken away from a lot of the things that I love to do. That would be doing photography. I hardly ever get to do any photography anymore, because during the daytime, I always have to be driving. And by the time I get stopped for the day, I'm out of light, and I can't stage anything. I can't take pictures like I used to love to do. Most of the stuff I do is at night. Like right now, I'm sitting in the back of my truck with all the lights on because it's dark outside recording this, because I had to drive until sunset today. I pulled in here 10 minutes after sunset, so I'm not getting to do the things that I want to do. I'm not getting to see the world the way that I want to see it. I'm not getting to have those experiences, and I'm not getting to do the things I love because of driving the truck. So I need a new adventure, and I think that's what this is going to be. And I hope you guys will join me on this. I know I have such an awesome audience out there, and I'm going to say again, I'm not done making videos on this channel by any means. I'm not done here. We will still be doing more. I'll still be sharing the adventures I have on the road here, but I will steadily be working towards this other project, and that's going to become a big part of this channel now. Here is the move towards this new project, and I know that I have fans all over the world. My videos get seen as far away as like New Zealand and Thailand and Saudi Arabia, and all over Europe even. And for me, I would really love to be in the situation where I could actually go places and meet people and see things that are far off. I know I've got a lot of people in England and in Germany that watch the channel, and you guys regularly comment on this. I think it would be so cool to be able to actually meet you guys, and not to just meet you, but it might be a thing like, well, hey, let's go out and take a sail on my boat and have an experience and have it be something that enriches your lives as well. And I really do appreciate the support that I've received from everybody on here. And I really think that the other thing about this is I've always known that I can do better than the videos that I'm making now. I've always known that I have it in me. I'm probably my own worst critic, because after I produce a video that people love, I sit there and I tear it apart and I say, oh, this ran too long, this wasn't, the exposure was wrong there, the sound quality's horrible here. I think having the sailboat, because I don't actually have to have my hands on the wheel of the sailboat all the time. I don't have to be driving it all the time. A lot of times I can be just moored somewhere and taking video, and I can make that my main thing. it's going to give me so much more opportunity to create valuable content that you guys will enjoy. I'm very, very passionate about doing this, and so that's the way we're heading with this. I know this video is getting pretty long now, guys, but I just wanted to talk to you about where we're headed and kind of what the plan for 2016 is here. I've really devoted a lot of thought to this. I've done several books on it here while I've been driving. I do audiobooks, and there's a great wide world full of adventure out there, and I'm really realizing that right now I'm 34 years old, and being 34 years old, I'm going to be 35 in October, and I think it's time to close one chapter of my life and open another. So I'm certainly not getting any younger, and pretty soon I'm going to be staring down my 40s, and a saying that really stuck with me is, you're not going to regret the things in life that you did. It's going to be the things you didn't do. And I do have a lot of those things that are already turning into regrets, and this is like the biggest of them. Being on the water was my first love, because that was the first thing in my life that I really had that was great, that was amazing, that made me feel alive, where I saw that's where my sense of adventure was born, was in the back of my grandpa's boat out on the water. And I got away after he died from all those things. I worked at the base marina for quite a while when I was in the Navy, but I did a bit of sailing there. But I was always kind of haunted by his ghost, if that makes sense. I couldn't get into it then. I did somewhat. I mean, I almost bought a boat and I almost lived aboard after the Navy, but I got talked out of that, and I kind of wish I hadn't of, which I really have no regrets about the things I've done in the meantime. I've learned so much, I've had so many experiences, but that is something that I've always regretted not doing. And having that regret is something that's been sticking with me, and I still have plenty of time in my life where I can do those things. And so that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go out here, I'm going to go out and I'm going to put this boat together, and I'm going to go out on the water, and I'm going to have these experiences, and I'm going to do some blue water sailing, and I'm going to get back into fishing. I haven't been fishing since I was out with Grandpa. And when I thought about that, I was like, wow. Because I used to love that. I used to love going up to the lake and catching fish with him. We'd go up to Canyon Ferry, we'd go up to Daly's Lake, and we'd eaten that night the fish he caught for the day. That was an amazing part of my childhood. And that's something that, after he died, I just let it go. I think it's just been enough time where the pain has subsided enough of losing him to where I'm ready for the adventure again. I'm ready to do this again, and so that's where we are. So thanks for watching this, guys. I know this video got a little long and a little bit long-winded, but I wanted to share with you where we're going, where we're headed. I'll probably go ahead and get the name of what I'm going to call the channel dialed down before I post this video here, so that'll be posted in the description as well. I haven't decided. I'm thinking something like SV Renegade would be very fitting, just taking on to the end of the trucking thing here. We'll just have to see. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate you, and we'll be back to regular videos here pretty soon. I just got a little bit more healing up to do because I'm still feeling pretty haggard, and I'm not going to get back into making videos regular until I'm all healed up from taking that fall. So I hope you guys will understand, and really appreciate everybody's support out there, and go check out the new channel. It's going to be pretty cool.